If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, a child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener.
Imperishable Flames return.
It is time for the return of the imperishable flames. lot of mythology surrounding the imperishable flames. None of us really knows who they are.
All right, but you know what? They did give us a stream info, and above every song, I believe, there is an intro. So we're going to get some information on who they are tonight.
Yes, they're a very shadowy group of shadowy individuals.
Maybe shisty, we don't know.
Maybe shisty, we don't know.
The Imperishable Flames returns with more music to feast your ears on.
Feast your ears on!
What more is there really to say? You already know it's going to be great, so let her rip! But first, March Madness starts next week. Everyone sign up. Here's the video advertisement with all the details in the description of this video that we are recording right now, this live stream right now, whether it's now or it's in the future when you watch it and we're no longer live streaming. If you look in the description, you're going to find that video.
We also have a March Madness trailer.
This is a fundraiser. All of the money that we raise goes to help other villagers who have fallen on hard times and need a little help. We were able to help multiple villagers this past year, and we want to keep on being able to do that. Number 4, it's cheap. 3, you don't have to know anything about basketball. The last 2 years, the winner of the bracket actually picked completely at random. So you don't have to feel like you have to know a lot about college basketball in order to play with us. Number 2, bragging rights. Every time you win, you get to tell your villagers how much smarter you are and how much more you know than they do. And it's a lot of fun to just talk trash and have a lot of fun with it. And the number 1 reason is the winner will get a free song reaction from Vin and Sori. So that's, instead of paying the $75 usual rate, it's a free song reaction just for the possible $1 that you paid to join us. So here's how it works. If you will search for Vin and Sori GoFundMe, you'll find our page to make a donation. Like I said, it's a minimum $1. You're encouraged to do more if you can. But once you make your donation, send an email to me at vinandsorimarchmadness@gmail.com. I will respond back to you with a link telling you where to go on ESPN.com so that you can create a bracket and join our village tournament group. You can start filling out your brackets on March 17th, that's Selection Sunday, and then all of the tournament brackets will be locked when the first game starts on the morning of March 21st. So that's the deadline you have to get your bracket filled out. This is a ton of fun. I look forward to seeing you all there.
That is the big homie Archero. What a beautiful soul. I'm pretty sure...
Archero's been doing this religiously.
I'm pretty sure...
for a couple of years.
I've added something else to sweeten the pot. I'm pretty sure it's a, what do you call it?
A 4-song stream.
Yeah, it's somehow going to be a 4-song stream or something like that. Middle will let me know. But it's this Sunday, guys. You got to start You got to start doing your stuff this Sunday. I am going to participate for the first time ever. And I wonder,
I too have been considering it.
if I win, like, what do I get?
Well, I already figured what we would do. You win or I win, that's what we'll do.
All right. That's cool.
Atmosphere, like the rest of us. Shout out to Negative Vibes, who's brought us this pick tonight. Negative says, Atmosphere are another group from the Minneapolis-based label Rhymesayers who are legends in the underground hip-hop scene since the late 90s.
Oh, hip-hop.
Yeah. Other notables, MF Doom, Ace Off Rock, Brother Ali, the Grouch, Sock Rock. It consists of the rapper Slug, Sean Daly, and DJ producer Ant Anthony Davis. Previously, they won an A99 hip-hop poll with the track Yesterday. So
A99 in this bitch!
So you have heard them once before. What's really interesting and notable about this particular track, like the rest of us, is all about the delivery. No other genre but hip-hop could express such a soft and gentle gloominess that this does. At some points, Slug's rapping is just above a soothing whisper. It's amazing. We'll be the judges!
We will determine that. Let's do it, baby. Okay,
I liked that.
Was
Atmosphere, like the rest of us.
Like the rest of us.
I love that one.
Good, solid hip hop.
Yep,
Yo.
that
Damn.
was really, 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 really good.
It's good hip hop.
Yeah, it was deep too.
What stuck out to you?
Well, I mean, so I've always been an extremely judgmental person. I know you're surprised, babe. You came up with my nickname years ago, so I know you're not surprised. He started calling me Judjo, and so did the entire group that I was around. I thought that was a little bit extreme, but now I look back and I'm like, oh, you were being nice. You were like trying to drop a little self-awareness. You go, sorry, do with this what you will. But yeah, I think, once, like, I think I'm coming on the other side of that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, now you only judge judgmental people.
I still do.
So you've improved.
Well, I judge them now in the sense of, like, you got a long road ahead of you. And the other thing, too, is when you're like a judgmental person, then, like the title of the song, like the rest of us, you're not like the rest of everybody else, and you're not with everybody else. You're separated from them. And so there's an aspect of, like, I always kind of felt like a lonely person, but some of that was self-inflicted,
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
If you're a mega judgmental person, then you're definitely going to be a lonely person because everybody sucks except for you.
Right.
Right. That's funny.
Right.
I mean, that's tragic, but that's a really...
A lot of years.
That's a really interesting insight. That's really good.
Well, you can see I've been growing in it.
First of all, this is another discovery I found on this channel that I would have never found elsewhere. And the discovery is that I like jazz music.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, me too.
But this kind of music, like, it just, like, you gotta really suck to not be able to make this sound good and chill. And people like, yo, I need to hit that shit and listen to this song and just chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really... Who this was from...
Negative did this
Negative Vibes all the way over there in... Yeah, so shout out to Negative Vibes, man. Like, yeah, like this channel is a metal channel, but it really introduced me to jazz. Like, I genuinely like that art form, and I'm like right at the like bottom of it.
Foothills. The other part that stuck out to me was talked about
her being a
Fred
stripper.
Right there. Well, yeah, obviously that part did too. He literally first one. So I've been here for some 30-some years, looking at myself in the same dirty mirror. So I ain't like I don't comprehend. Open that bottle, swallow that friend. I think that's one thing that I've learned also over the years is intentionality. Your intentions behind stuff are vitally important. So the person that tips it back in a celebratory sense, but safely, is going to experience that drink differently than the person that tips it back because there is a friend to them in that bottle. Mm-hmm. And there's a way that, like, I wish I had the picture right now. Go ahead, because I want to get that picture.
Picture of what? You have a picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the idea that a person is isolated and then alcohol is their friend has always been an interesting idea to me, because it's like people are so lonely that they start to anthropomorphize or humanize, dead substances, right? Like, but that's how desperate human beings are for connection, emotion, that type of thing.
Yep.
Like the biggest example for me was probably it was a Tom Hanks movie, and he crashes on an island, and the only thing that's left on the island is this soccer ball named Wilson. And so he starts calling this soccer, talking to, for something like that.
Castaway.
It was something like that, where he was like, and it was just like clear how important, relationship is to us, that he would just make something up. So now this guy's in the same situation with alcohol at the beginning of the song. But
this one's crazy, right?
Yeah, so the guy is being consumed by the alcohol,
right,
per se, instead of him consuming the alcohol.
Yeah. Yep. I think I was like,
yeah,
wow,
that's a crazy
visual there.
That's a crazy freaking visual for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that goes back down to, the intentions behind something is really going to steer steer what you get out of it, or actually what it does to you. So you don't get like this guy with the face in the bottle that's being consumed by the bottle. If it's like, the Bible gives, different. It says that God made wine to make the heart of man glad. So it's not saying that you can't have a little bit. I mean, if you have an issue with it and you're going to become a slave of it, then stay away from it. But at the same time, like if you're in, this is the other thing too. I think that you can be honest with yourself or you can bullshit yourself. You could tip that bottle back with the intention of finding a friend in the bottom of the bottle while telling yourself, I'm doing this to celebrate with everyone else. Mm-hmm. So if you got to be honest.
This is interesting. That's gluttony, isn't it? This is interesting. That's gluttony, isn't it? Being consumed by addiction, not just consuming occasionally. That's a really...
Yeah, because you always think of food for gluttony.
That's really good. Mm-hmm. That's really good. Gluttony. Yeah, so the injunction against gluttony is ultimately an injunction against
excess, consumption,
addictive, excessive behavior.
Consumption that ends up consuming you.
That's fascinating. It's very fascinating.
Good job.
Shit, there's no way to measure it. Not every pony grows up to be a Pegasus. You got to let people be hypocrites. Count your blessings and mind your business.
Loved that part. I loved that part.
Yeah, I mean, when you go to school in kindergarten and all that, there's all the you can do anything, you can be anything, you can, I don't really like John MacArthur a lot as a person or a theologian or a pastor, but I do like, there was that one time when he goes, yeah, everybody's walking around telling you can do everything and be everything. No, you can't. He said, you're extremely limited. Most of your dreams are not going to, and I was just like, okay, somebody's finally telling us the truth. See what I'm saying? And then for me, when I heard that, I took that as a challenge. Like, yeah, that's true for those people. It's not true for me, though. Mm-hmm. But that's because I had, internalized something and, all the rest of it. But it is it at some point, that reality, you get faced with that reality, man. Like, you try out for the basketball team. You thought you were a Pegasus. You're just a horse, man. Like, I think that's a major issue, especially in America with all of our media and everything. It's like,
thanks, Ben.
I was listening to this person complain about, I don't want to say complain, but their shoves on YouTube, how hard they're working, mm-hmm. and they only have, X, whatever, and people get discouraged and, because they heard some success story or they see somebody doing it. This is easy. Okay, I'm just gonna do YouTube, mm-hmm. and it doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah,
and people have a hard time accepting that. You see it all the time on American Idol. Like, people have this like shiny idea of what they're supposed to be, and that's the only way they can be valuable in their mind.
Yep.
And so it's like you see that in a lot of places, but like this is really interesting. No crime to take a little too much. Got time to drink away a few months. Got a little cocaine habit, but he says he only does it when somebody else has it. Go do that shit. Do that shit, ladies. She went vegetarian for the baby. Third trimester, I see the kid kick. She showed me outside when she gave me a cigarette. Mm-hmm. So she's like she's changing her diet. She went vegetarian for the baby. Yeah. But she's smoking cigarettes outside.
Yeah.
Right? And so like the irony is like everybody's trying to do their best.
Yeah.
Right? That this woman's trying to do her best.
Yeah.
But she's also addicted to nicotine.
Yeah. Like
both of those are true at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like one of the biggest issues in our culture is that like we won't let people. We have a hard time dealing with those contradictions. Like internally and also with the people around us. So we say things like, if that person was truly your friend, they would have never done X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. If that person truly loved you, they wouldn't have done X, Y, Z. Mm-hmm. That's not true. People can love you and hurt you. This woman is going vegan for her baby. Mm-hmm. She loves her baby, but she's also addicted to cigarettes, mm-hmm. right? And so like when he says all of us are hypocritical, that's such an important concept to understand. Like, and he talks about the stripper thing.
Yeah. Way that he described that when he described her heels facing up to Jesus, that was crazy.
Yeah. Okay. She ended up on the pole with her heels pointing at her Jesus she used to know. stripped down to her naked body. We made her drown like in a lake full of patriarchy. And I love that because he is connecting sex work to the patriarchy.
Yeah, he is.
And a lot of pseudo-intellectual feminists, whatever, male and female, are like, sex work is empowering, blah, blah, blah. But shut up. That's a fucking lie. It's not empowering. It is a tool of the patriarchy so that you can have a steady stable of naked women to masturbate to until you die. That's what that industry is.
Yep, speak.
That's what the industry is. It's an absolutely a function of patriarchy, and it is a cope for anyone to say that women in the sex industry are empowered. It's a lie. I actually did a moderated debate with a person who is advocating for that perspective. I'm not going to get into all of their details, but there is a debate about it on Middle America. You can watch it if you want on the Middle America channel. But like, I had quoted one of the, I kind of set her up in the cross-ex. I said, this individual, I'm not going to name them. I said, this individual says shooting porn was empowering to her. Do you agree with that? She says, absolutely, it's empowering. I said, okay. She also stated that she got into the industry because she was $60,000 in school loan debt.
Yep.
And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so isn't that a form of coercion?
Yep.
Nope. She didn't do it under any duress. I'm like, okay. So in my closing statement, I played a video from this woman. The same girl who was saying she was so empowered and blah, 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 and sex positive and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
She was talking about how she's starting to disassociate. She doesn't know the difference between her real name and the person on the screen. She's talking about how terrified she is when she goes to the set because one time her manager, aka pimp, did not tell her who she was going to be, quote, working with, who was going to have sex with her on camera. They didn't tell her.
And once they show up, if they don't follow through with it, then they get blacklisted. So then they can't get further jobs. So once you show up, you have to do whatever it is that they're
The girl
planning.
told me also there's this thing called a kill fee. If you kill the scene, you have to pay because they paid for all these production blah 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 blah. So this girl shows up and the guy is her father's age.
Yeah.
And she said she had to go along with it because kill fee, blah 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 blah. So the same girl who was talking about how empowered she was talking about that, and she literally used the term traffic. She said you have to watch out, you can't trust people because they're going to try to traffic you, blah 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 blah. So I have no judgments whatsoever for women in the sex industry in any way, shape, or form, but I'm very, very happy that he said we made her drown in the patriarchy. Because you got a lot of dudes out here bullshitting women talking about how they love female empowerment. When in reality, they want a steady stable of naked women and girls, some of y'all. I'm sorry, because that barely 18 shit is like as popular as ever. So, like, I really, really appreciate the song, but the way I where I struggle in the message of the song is to say, I love that girl. I love the pregnant girl with the cigarette. I love the pregnant girl with the crack pipe. I love her. I'll never judge her. I take bullets for her. I'll put bullets in people for her. Like, the problem that I have is the dudes. I got no mercy for dudes, partly because I have daughters. So anytime I hear about a woman being exploited or whatever, like, I got the most important people in my life have been women in my life. So when I hear that, like, I take that shit personally, and I have no forgiveness for those people. I have no mercy for those people. I remember one time we were sitting down with the little sex trafficking division in our city. Me and my buddy, we started a church or whatever, and he wanted to get in there. And dude was explaining like the operation and the mentality of these women and things of that nature. It's absolutely heartbreaking. I just remember saying to myself, like, we're going to help these girls. And then the Lord said to me, well, what about the guys? What about the pimp? Do you want to help him too? I said, hell no. I want to hurt that guy. I don't want to help him. And the Lord was like, okay, then you're wrong. Because the song says like, basically give everybody room to be a hypocrite. And so it's like, it's hypocritical of me to not have that heart for the dudes that are in that, on the other side of that thing. Because they're not mutually exclusive, because God loves both of them. But you know me, I was like, man, fuck these people. fuck them. Like, I don't care, you know. And then we had one girl that was.
I was gonna say once he was gone.
Well, here's what happened. But here's the lesson. We had one girl. It was a crazy story. You know, she got pregnant, was going to have the abortion. We were able to talk her out of that. But then she had her boyfriend was her pimp. And a lot of folks don't realize that. Like, most girls, you'll say, "Is that your pimp?" They'll say, "No, that's not my pimp." They'll say, "That's my boyfriend," or whatever. Because that's how they get them to do it. But like, I just had no time, pity, whatever, compassion, empathy. And the reality is that girl started coming to church with us, but she would not have started going to church with us if the boyfriend wasn't going either, the pimp.
That's right.
So both of them were starting to come to church.
That's right. I forgot. I completely stripped that out of my mind.
Yeah, because I don't like. That's what I'm saying.
I remember her being there. I don't remember him, but once you said it, I remembered.
Yeah. And like, so like, it just, God was just like, "You're wrong, dude. You're just wrong." Like, I love dude too. And long story short, she ended up almost dying. People put rest in peace on her.
Oh, it was crazy.
And I remember I was calling one of the guys, and I said, because we're like, okay, we're about to do our first funeral, and he said, "I'm gonna send the girls up there to pray for her." And I said, "Yeah, man, go do that." He's like, "You gonna come through?" I'm like, "Nah."
It's
I couldn't do it. I couldn't go there and like look at her die and then have everybody praying for her, and like, I knew the shit was not going to work out the way everybody wanted it to.
That's literally what I was thinking too. I've always believed in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of healing. Like, I believe in all of that stuff. But even in that situation, I never went. I was like, let those people. I'll say a prayer from my house. I can't go.
I remember exactly what
I didn't want to see.
We were driving around all night because I was just waiting on the call. We're driving around all night. And then I get a call the next day. She fucking makes this miraculous recovery. All those RIPs on her thing. 2 weeks later,
I still was thinking.
We were baptizing this girl.
This is like right before somebody dies, where everything goes good, and then it goes.
Yeah,
it's one of those. Like, I was so pessimistic about the entire endeavor.
We baptized her 2 weeks later, and then the boyfriend is in prison now, and then she got out of the city she was in. They set her up with an apartment, and she worked her ass off, and she ate her way back to health. She's a little overweight now, bless God.
Loves it. She
and
loves
on
it.
top of that, her brother, who would go missing or whatever, he's now on the right track. It's just incredible story. And she got
her baby. She got one of her babies back. She just got reconnected with her. She's got her youngest that's now living with her, and she just got reconnected with
the
her
baby
oldest.
that she was going to abort. She said saved her life.
That's her saving grace.
She said that saved my life.
Yeah.
And it gave her a purpose. And when she was in that apartment, she didn't have her kids. The state took all her kids. And that little girl that she was going to tend to the clinic gave her the fucking inspiration to push. And now look at her. She's incredible. I mean, like I said, I'm so happy. She posts all these pictures of herself and like she's showing her body off. I love it. I love it. Because I'm like, I remember you, bro. She was rail thin.
I remember her rail skin and just like kind of like almost passed out on the bar.
Yeah. So I was just like, man. So I heard this song and I'm like, there's just a lesson in the song for everybody. If you really sit and look at it, there's a lesson for everybody. There's this girl right now. She's an OnlyFans girl, and she last week put out a testimony like she just recently got saved and all this. And there's Pearl, whatever her name is, just Pearly Things. Some of you guys will probably know about that. And it's just nothing but judgment of this girl. And it's like her misery is so clear.
Oh man!
Like, it's so clear.
And
the
she's
jealousy,
extremely judgmental too.
Yeah.
She's a very judgmental person. So
yeah. So there's a message. There's a message in this song for all of us, because all of us are hypocrites. You know, I was talking to Johan. He's like, doesn't that make me a hypocrite? I said, my boy, every time we sin, we're being hypocritical. Like, everybody's a hypocrite, just to varying degrees. What do you get the song?
Oh, this one's a 10 for me. Once I get my iTunes, every time I put the iTunes on my phone, it just connects to your iTunes, and so I don't have my list. All mine disappears, and it's just your music. So I got to figure out how to figure that out, but this one's going on my list for sure. I like this one.
Yeah. It's a really, really good song. Negative
So
Vibes.
chill, too.
Shout out to Negative Vibes, man.
It's crazy because the song is deep and it like really makes you think about a lot of things, and it like drops a lot of truth on you, but it has such a chill sound to it that it kind of like
100%.
it kind of makes you feel like it's okay, like we're all in the same boat. But,
Agree. Agree.
But
yeah.
I probably feel more like that because I know that there's a way off of that ship. You know what I mean? So.
And to Jefferson's point, the judgment prevents people from taking their first steps toward improvement.
100%.
That's the crazy thing. Like,
100%.
we're from a Christian background, so, those are the people we're going to talk about. But I'm sure it's universal, but it's true. Like, there's so many people that would come to us willing to change because the institutional church didn't want anything to do with them. But anyway, 9.5. 9.5, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 10. It was very, obviously, 'cause I've spent my entire life being judgmental. So for me, the song was big. I really liked it. So.
Holy shit. As a feminist as I am, I think that that's utter BS. Nothing empowering about it. It's legal rape.
100%.
Legal sexual assault.
100%.
Legalized sexual assault. That's absolutely what that industry is. Absolutely.
100%.
And again, I am never going to advocate for any law or anything that penalizes women for surviving in a fucking hellscape that we created.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we created as men. Men are bad. I'm just saying that we're the culture makers, we're the culture leaders, and we're sinful. And so we're going to create situations and institutions that benefit us. And that institution is one of them. Mm-hmm. It does not benefit women. Like with everything, there's a 1% that are successful, but there's a 99% that are just used up and discarded and have to live the rest of their lives with this stigma over their head. And hopefully they're with somebody strong enough to overcome that, man enough to overcome that and see the value in them,
Yeah.
All right. 9.5.
100%. I almost think that that's going to actually happen because, it's another generation, where there's a lot of girls in one generation that are OnlyFans and all these different things. That got kind of normalized in the generation. And so, there's also a whole bunch of men and women that have been feasting off of these girls in those situations. And, part of repentance and really changing from something is really turning from it. And so if you're really a repentant person, and you really believe what you were doing was wrong, then embracing those people, you know what I mean? For the men to embrace those women and be like that, you know what I mean? I took part in it, and this is, you know what I mean? Part of finding someone that you can love and care for in that situation and helping them through they could kind of be together, you know what I mean? Because they both were on the opposite sides of this horrible industry.
I would love that if this manosphere thing could give way to us coming together, men and women coming together. And not that the environment is so toxic right now. I'm just so happy that we found each other, man, because it's so hard to navigate right now. This shit is crazy. All right,
we'll be right back.
We just started, dear listener. You guys, you sit tight. You guys know the deal. We're coming right back with more metal goodness. Check out this commercial. We'll catch you on the other side of the break.